Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello, you gorgeous person, and welcome back to another episode with me. I am super grateful that you're here. Thank you so much for listening. If you love what you hear, please take a screenshot, pop it on your stories, and tag me. My links are always in the descriptions, so come on into my world. I'm really happy that you're here. This episode I'm super excited to talk about because can you believe that it is nearly the second quarter of the year? I actually can't believe that we're nearly at the end of March. And I think every year I say it, and it's very cliche. We do it all the time. But I feel like it was just yesterday that we were coming into January and I was talking about setting goals for the year. And now we're at the end of March almost. We need to look at how we've done in Q1. Because we've had 3 full months to practice, and now we get to go into Q2, 3, and then 4. And before you know it, it'll be at the end of the year, and there'll be all sorts of things going on, and it'll be crazy. So 2024 is well underway, and I hope that your beauty business is going super well straight away, straight out the gates. But it's super important, right, to reflect on how you've done over the last 3 months, because otherwise there will be so many bits that you forget to go through, learn from, and take with you into Q2. And I just love having this kind of sit back, let's review, let's refresh our energy, and then let's plan ahead to continue this growth journey and continue allowing us to have the best successful beauty businesses from wherever it is that you are based, whether it's home based, whether you are mobile, whether you are renting a space, wherever you are, whatever you do in your beauty business. Let's continue on a great successful few months, right? So first of all, I just want to say, give yourself a pat on the back. Do you know why? Because we have made it. You have made it through some of the toughest months of the year. Right, these winter months, in the UK, by the way. So these winter months in the UK are the hardest to get up and go and reach your goals. It is the hardest because we wake up in the dark and we finish work in the dark, and the motivation is literally at 0 most of the time because we just have this lull in these cold, dark winter months. It has a huge effect on us as humans, and so running our businesses feels hard even when we're just sticking to the basics, just even when you're not going crazy and trying to reach massive milestones, it can still feel super hard just because of the effect that it has on us. If you're one of the people that doesn't affect, it doesn't affect you at all, massive pat on the back to you, congratulations. I'm super glad that it doesn't affect you, but the majority of us are affected in the winter months, and so I just want you to give yourself a little pat on the back because you've made it through and you're still here and you're still going when the motivation isn't easy. But what we need to do is we need to get into the nitty gritty. So what you need to do is you need to review everything. You need to get your review hat on. And the first things first, we want to look at the figures. We want to see where you are at in your beauty business at the end of Q1. So what you want to be looking at is things like, okay, what is the revenue? What's come in? How much money have we made? What's come in? Where's it come in from? What are the percentages? And then what's gone out? So what's gone out in the business? Where are we profit and loss wise? We need to look at it month on month. We need to look at where we are for the quarter. And then once we've done the figures for the sales, we then need to like move on over to the figures for the clients and think, okay, so how many new clients have we seen in the last 3 months? How many old clients have we seen in the last 3 months? What were the patterns there? Where could we make improvements there, and you'll notice, well, hopefully you'll notice where clients are coming from, and that's when it moves me on to your marketing numbers, right? So you then need to review where your marketing efforts were best placed. What is it that got you the new clients in the last 3 months? What is it that worked? What is it that you think you tried and it maybe didn't work, or you'd want to try but you want to tweak it because you didn't give it the energy that it deserved? All of these things you want to review, and then any other goals as well, of course, because when you set your yearly goals and your quarterly goals, you're going to have certain things that are completely individual to you and your business and your services that you offer for your clients. And so have a look back at those goals and think, what were the goals? Did we hit the goals? Did we progress any further on the goals than we thought we would? Did we outdo ourselves here? And just think, what's the progress? What is the progress from January to now? What progress have we made? And that's the first thing. Get all of that down. And I think when you do that, what you realize is that you have so much to celebrate. So the second thing you need to do is actually think, is there anything that I need to celebrate that I haven't celebrated? Like, no matter how big, no matter how small, you need to celebrate all of the good stuff to get yourself into the best energy, because when you realize that you have a lot to be grateful for because you pick out all these small little bits and bobs, it puts you in such a good positive energy, and it attracts more to you to be grateful for in your business, in your life, in general. So you want to grow, you want to keep growing into that kind of space where you have more and more to be grateful for. And also the things that you found maybe a bit more difficult, you'll notice once you've gone through all of those things and you're, celebrating certain things, you'll realize as well that some things were super challenging, and you can celebrate the fact that you still got through all the challenges, you learned from them. There might be things that didn't go so well that you can completely pick apart and take with you and, really learn from and grow with. So think about it. Are there any kind of milestones that you've hit in your business now? Whether it be client-wise, monetary-wise, the length of time you've been open, maybe you've introduced something else to the menu, different milestones with services. Is there anything like that? Are there any transformations that stand out to you this last quarter? Are there any amazing transformations among your clients that really stand out to you? Is there, on that one as well, are there any kind of positive reviews or really positive feedback that you've gotten from clients in the last quarter that you think, oh my goodness, that was incredible, and it makes you super proud? That's the kind of thing I want you to think about. Like, what are you proud of in the last 3 months? What can you seriously think, I did that? And you can celebrate that, because 9 times out of 10, the people I help and the people listening to this podcast are the people that are self-employed doing this stuff on their own. And if you're not going to celebrate your wins, who the heck is, right? Get celebrating. Think about all of these things, break it down, give yourself a pat on the back and be proud of yourself that you've got through the winter months and you've smashed it. And hopefully you've hit some of those goals, right? And if you haven't, and if you've gone through some challenges and it's been difficult, you've learned so many things from those things. What can you take away from those things, or from those goals that you didn't quite hit, but you nearly did, or maybe you were way off, but you've learned something? Trust me, you've always learned something. What can you take away from those things and therefore put into practice again, or tweak and repeat and move with and put into Q2? Because the third thing that you need to do has got to be obviously setting the goals for the next quarter. So you want to be setting the goals for Q2, which is going to be April, May and June. And the best thing about this time of year is that these are the spring months and you get to feel a spring in your step. I feel this anyway, is that in the winter we kind of like, we want to go because it's January and we're like, we really should. Everyone's setting goals, everyone's trying to run straight out the gates and get things like off to a really good start. But then what happens is sometimes we crash because we realise that the motivation isn't really there, and it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of hard work to keep going in the first quarter of the year. And then Q2 comes around and things feel easier, because we feel more positive and we feel a little bit more put together and things just feel easier. Even the harder things feel easier. So you get to take advantage of that in Q2. So literally get ready for that. It's super exciting. Let me know if you feel that as well, by the way, because it's just a common thing that I see among the people that I help, and myself particularly. Anyway, so what you want to do is now you want to set your SMART goals for Q2. And hopefully you would have already set some. You'll have an idea of each quarter when you set your new goals for the whole year. But now you want to look at those again if you've already got them. And if you haven't got them, you want to set them. So you want to go for things that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. They need to have a deadline. That is how you set SMART goals. And then what you do, you prioritize them, right? So what's more important? Is it a revenue-based target and goal? Is it a client-based goal? Is it services, marketing, all of the different things? But what are you prioritizing for April, May, and June? Like each month, how are you prioritizing the goals? And then you want to break them down into actionable steps. And the best way that I do this is, for me personally, in my life and business, is I always think about the quarter. So you got your 90-day goals, and then I break them down into 30 days. So I think about what goals am I focusing on in this month of this quarter, and then the next and the next. And then I can break those down, those goals, into weekly kind of tasks and what I'm focusing on that week. And then so each day I can think, right, what are the 2 or 3 things that I'm doing today to move me towards this month's goal that I know is obviously serving me for the quarter goal. So that is what I would do. And obviously give yourself clear deadlines and make those goals really, really strong. And then when you've got those goals and they're completely broken down and you feel really super crystal clear on them, then you get into being able to adjust your strategies, because what you did in Q1 might be refocusing a little bit. You might be rejigging what you've done strategy wise. It might be that you were focusing on your social media a lot or not a lot, and this time you feel like you are going to be ramping something up for Q1 in social media. And that's the reason I touch on social media straight away, first of all, in strategy, is because this day and age, most self-employed beauty business owners are having to have the strong online presence, because if you're working from home or mobile, not many people know who you are, where you are. Unless you're a big salon with a big footfall, we have to have a really, really strong online presence. And even those salons need a strong online presence as well, because that is just the day and age that we live in. So that's why I talk about social media straight away. So maybe you need to adjust your social media strategy. Maybe you need to adjust and refocus your client journey kind of strategy from all the way from engagement to when they're seeing you and when you're bringing them into your world, and those kind of efforts that you make via whatever marketing channel you use, all the way through to like follow-ups and client journey from when they leave, right? Because that's super important as well. Maybe you incorporate your email marketing into that, and any new opportunities for you to market your business in Q2. Is it something new you're going to try? And I encourage you to have a listen back to some of the other episodes on this podcast about marketing and getting your business out there. That's what you want to do when you've got those goals broken down, is figure out what strategies you're going to be using to get to them. You know the kind of monthly goal, you've broken it down into the week, and you're thinking about steps you can take each day. Okay, so how are we going to actually strategize this and make it into a plan? Because that's what you do. You then want to get productive. You want to make a plan. So where was your time best spent last quarter? And this can really help you with your strategy for Q2. So what worked the best last quarter? We've already reviewed the month, so we can take what we already know and think, right, so where was my time best spent? And is that, does anything stand out for you when it comes to appointments times? Because you would have spent a hell of a lot of time with clients. Was there anything that stands out for you there? There's obviously admin time, there's marketing time, there's also personal development time. Where was your time best spent? And then you want to be able to identify time wasting parts of your life and business. You want to find out, what habits and tasks were you doing in Q1 that really weren't helpful? And then you want to be able to either minimize those or take them away entirely, so that your focus, when you're doing this and you're getting super productive, your focus is, the question is, where is my time best spent right now? That is what you want to ask yourself every single day. Where is my time best spent right now? What could I do to the best of my ability right now? So then create your plan and schedule things into the diary for Q2, and schedule things into, what does that look like for the week? What does it look like for that month as an overview? And just get going with some sort of schedule. when you do it like that, you are so much more likely to achieve your goals, because you are going to be able to stay focused. You're going to be able to have that kind of clarity on what we're working towards. And it's not just finger in the wind, I'm going to try what everyone else is doing, or I'm just going to carry on as I am and everything's fine. Because we thrive off having schedules and routines and plans. And you will too, and your business will thank you for it, because you're going to be working towards something. And when you hit little goals, when you hit little milestones along the way, you're gonna want to keep going, because that result feeling, that like yes feeling, I've done this, it's so rewarding, and you get filled with so much gratitude that you want more of it. So then slowly but surely you get to the success that you really want, and I love to see it. So let me know how you're going, and thank you to those of you that do already let me know how you're going. The last thing I wanted to quickly touch on before you go getting excited and making plans and schedules for Q2 is keeping a positive mindset, right? You are probably excited to go into Q2 and set new goals and refocus your energy, which is such a great thing, because it's all about your energy, right? You're in control of how you feel every single day. Yes, things happen externally that can affect our mood, that can affect everything that goes on with us, but ultimately you get to choose your energy, and that is what I want you to do every single day so that you can hit these goals. But the thing is, you have to maintain this positive mindset in order to do it, because you've got 3 months, and as I said before, motivation can come and go, but you really need to be choosing this positive energy all the time. So think about things like your why, right? Have a daily mindset habit to keep on top of it, because your personal growth and your business growth are going to be aligned. You are not going to, like, your business will not outgrow you as a person. You're not going to get to the level of business where you're serving however many clients and making X amount of money if you're still playing small as a person, as a personal development area, right? It's not going to happen. It has to be in alignment. So bring things back to your why all the time, because you're going to need to be resilient. And when things feel hard, the why, which by that what I mean is why you do what you do every day. What's the bigger purpose? What does it do for you? What does it do for your family? What does this thing do for the world? You know, what is the goodness that comes from this for your clients? You see where I'm going with this? So get your why down if you haven't already, and have a daily mindset habit, and even incorporate some new habits if this is something that gives you that motivation every day. I have a planner where I write down weekly habits. So some weeks I change those up, and definitely every quarter when I do my reviews, I look at it and I think, right, this quarter I'm actually really going to focus on this, and this is going to help me stay motivated. So those daily habits, get them in for your positive mindset. Okay, otherwise this kind of stuff is just not gonna be able to be executed effectively. So just to recap, what I said was, congratulations, you've made it through the winter months, first of all. Second of all, let's have a review of Q1, right? Let's review your Q1 in your beauty business so that we can get into the real nitty gritties. How are we doing? Then what you want to do is celebrate, and celebrate all of those small wins that you've had. Identify challenges and see where you can give yourself a pat on the back and say, wow, I did that, I got through that. Identify the places that you've learned a lot and you can adapt things and grow with that. And then set your goals for Q2, right? Break those goals down and then strategize and turn them into a real plan. Make a new plan for Q2 and schedule everything into an actual daily, weekly, monthly schedule, right? That is what I suggest that you do for your beauty business in the next couple of days, weeks into Q2, so that then your April, May and June can be absolutely fantastic, and you're going to have a spring in your step, you're going to be loving life, and your beauty business is going to be thriving. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.